Check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. Another episode. You know what it is. Newest episode of Why Always Me. Episode 77. Oh, we getting there. We're getting there. On our way to Centurion status. Episode 77. You know what it is. Vader Games in the building. First things first. My peoples come first. My peoples. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being in the comments. Thank you so much for being part of the views and helping with the subs. You see what channel's growing steadily, and the love is there, the appreciation is there. So I want to thank you first and foremost. We got to do this proper. Let me shout out those that are in the comments first. Let me see who's in the building first, and then we'll get to it. My guy, like clockwork, Steady Eddie, FIFA in the building, number one. Haaland 3 goals incoming. I'm not mad at that. And then we also got, please add Carson background. Carson's going to be talked to. And I got to shout out, Carson was important last season. He was important last season. He's going to be important this season. For sure, FIFA, I'm with you. Now, you know what it is. If you're new to the channel, if you're tuning in and you're catching this on a replay, on a rerun, thank you first. And at the same time, if you are new, sub, like, anything you happen to hear me say that you agree with, you disagree with, you think I'm out in space, comment. Let me know. I'll react to it. I'll react to all comments, and I have some great conversations post shows as well. YSK in the building, Blue Heart. You know what it is. Unofficially, let me do this before the show actually kicks off. But if you're wondering, this is not San Diego State, San Diego Padres. This is SU, Syracuse. On this day, Syracuse won the NC2A, NCAA, NCAA, however you want to say it, men's basketball tournament. So in recognition of my alma mater. But we got to do this things proper. And you know where I'm from. You know where I'm based. And every show, I make sure to show you a little part of my city. If you ever get a chance to visit, you got family in Toronto, you're going on a nice vacation, you come through in the summertime, summertime, but come through the summertime, fall, beautiful time to visit. But if you do come through the city, link up. If not, hopefully you get to see some of these sites that I'm about to show you. All right. You know what? Maybe I need to link up with a partnership with Tourism Toronto or something like that. But if you do get a chance to check out the city, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, we got to do this right. And I see you in the building. YSK goes, I'll be coming to Canada this fall. Boom. YSK, I'm gonna continue to do some shows. Obviously, messaging, DMs, whatsoever. Let me know. I'll show you the pub that City fans go to. And if you happen to come through when a game's taking place, perfect place to meet up, man. Manchester, clear. Is it clear? Clear skies. All right, out there. Yeah, actually, I think it is. Now, you see the topics. If you're new, I always put the topics on screen. You tune in, you catch me on the thumbnail, you check Twitter. You're like, what's Vader talking about today? What's happening on the show today? You know exactly what I'm about to go to. May not know what I happen to say about it, but at least you know the topics that are going to be discussed. And yeah, I mean, based off the content, the conversations, the comments, we sometimes, we kind of take the scenic route sometimes, but we definitely will discuss it. And if I happen to miss, because the conversation's so good, we focus on one part a little too long, you know what happens. Bonus show, all right? But I'm gonna keep this nice, short, concise, sweet for you guys and your listening, watching, enjoyment. Okay? Topics there on the screen. Thumbnail. I had to point out City needed to win that game against Liverpool, and we're going to go through that game, right? You see, I already got the review screen right there. I always got the review screen with what we're going to be covering with regards to the goals that took place. All goals. We're going to cover all goals. But we got that, but I'm also going to emphasize the importance of why City need to win that game, how we did, when we did, because in turn, Klopp made some key player management decisions because he was facing City, then to face Chelsea, then to also face Arsenal. A lot of games in quick succession, he had to manage his players and his bodies properly. And us dictating, right? Us executing the way we did, going up 4-1 at the point of that game made a lot of decisions for him a lot easier. And I'm going to speak to why that was so important. Julian in the building goes, Liverpool, real suspect right now. Are they right now, or has that been kind of like how they've been? Because they had a 0-0 against Chelsea early in the year, and they look to be the same. Right now, or maybe they've been real suspect all season. Lots to kind of cover there. But let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Now, I'm gonna take this off screen. We don't need to see that. So let me take that off screen. Boom. Magic. And we're going to deal with this international break first and foremost. And let me do this all proper. Vader game. International break. No rust. No rust from Haaland. Well, what am I saying? No rust from the squad, I should say. No rust. International break, no rust from the squad. We obviously had no Haaland. Man's killing it, 28 goals in the league. We had no Foden, I believe second leading scorer for us, and he's been in and out of the rotation. We didn't have either of them, and we know that Foden shows up big versus Liverpool. We know that Haaland scored in his last game against Liverpool. We didn't have those two players. Didn't matter. Was that no problem? No problem with regards to the international break, which many of us, including myself, thought that it was going to be a problem because we were in such a great groove. The rhythm of the team, the ball movement, the scoring, we were like, it was like a thought and it happened. If we wanted to score, we just thought of, let's score now. And we made it happen. We were in that type of form. And I thought players being away from each other, not being the same Manchester City training regime and routine, it might have caused problems because Liverpool always show up against us. But that international break was actually calm. Players were healthy for the most part. Foden, appendicitis. We get it. Haaland, slight groin strain or some concerns there. So he's put on the shelf. Did not matter. And you know why it didn't matter? It didn't matter because of what Pep has been doing this entire season. Yes, I know we're scratching our heads. We're like wondering, Pep, what's with all the rotation? What's with all the players in and out defensively, midfield? Even some of the changes that we saw, we're always going to remember the game against Liverpool the first time around when it looked like he had Cancelo playing right wing, and obviously we were executing like a back three. It was just the balance was just off. But Pep has been building trust with all players from the very beginning of the season. Not many managers do it. In particular, the manager we just faced, he doesn't do it unless he's forced to. If he can run the same 11 as he'll do that. It's not until the legs are heavy. It's not until maybe an injury creeps up where he shows rotation. But Pep, since day one, has been building the trust with players because you don't want to just rely on the players when they happen to be injured. That's the wrong time. That's when there's doubt. That's when you're like, can you get them up to speed to actually play a role? But if you're coaching them up, if you're giving them the instructions, if you're actually making a plan versus this fixture, I'm going to have so and so play. You build the trust early so that if a player is required based off of rotation, if a player is required based off of injury, easily inserted. And Pep and the trust built was why that 11, which I did not anticipate at all. I thought it was going to be a back four. I thought Silva was going to start. Pep proved a lot of us wrong with some of our anticipated lineups. There was no Walker, there was no Silva, and it was like business as usual. Business as usual. I love the way. As much as we may get stressed out, we may get concerns, and when we talk about stress, should I be stressed as a City fan? I shouldn't. But I am. Look, I told you guys last week, the Platinums are starting to creep, man. They're fighting. They're battling through. But we could have a lot worse. As a City fan, things could be a lot worse. If I was, heaven forbid, if I happen to be a Liverpool fan right now, I'd probably platinum out. This beer would be all platinumed out. Fortunately, here at City, things do get stressful, but it's calm at the same time. So that's why the Platinums aren't fighting the way they are. But we got to stay cool. We got to stay cool, and I'm staying cool. Shout out to my guy Blue Heart in the building. Hello, everyone. Now, the fact that Pep built the trust, we saw a great performance from the squad. And if you've seen me, obviously, I'm assuming many of you in the comments have been a part of other City channels, right? Especially post game. You're going to one of the channels. What are men saying? What's been the breakdown? What's the review? So I'm not going to go back into that because I featured on a few of those shows already. But I do want to go and review the goals. That is something you're not seeing on other channels, and I'm making it a first here. YouTube, do not copy strike me. This is strictly for study, breakdown, learning purposes. All right? That is why we do this review. But every City versus Liverpool goal will be reviewed. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it nice and sweet. You guys have probably already looked at it, but I want to point some things out because, funny enough, you could watch the same thing 5, 10, 20 times. But then when somebody else watches it and they say, look, did you notice this? Or they point something out, you're like, whoa, okay, I'm going to look for that next time. And that's what I want to do here. Let me do this nice and clean, though. Vader game. Okay, so what I want to point out are these goals. I want to point out these goals. And you see the screen right here before me. YouTube, again, do not copy strike me. This is strictly for learning, study, review purposes. Okay? Now, the first goal that we conceded. From Liverpool, I'm not going to lie. We kind of got away from one or two opportunities like it earlier in the game. Okay? It was clear. We knew this. It was no surprise. We knew that they were going to look to catch us on the counter. They've got speed. They've got speed up front, no doubt about it. But Trent's a dangerous guy offensively, man. Trent is a dangerous guy. It doesn't seem to matter wherever the ball is. You know, like the way he strikes the ball, he doesn't need the perfect lineup. He doesn't need the perfect measured distance. He's talented. There's no doubt about it. He's talented with his ability to spray those passes. He's not KDB level, but from a right back position, kid's nice. So he tried this a few times, and in this instance, look at defensively. Hopefully you can see my cursor. No, you can't actually. Now you can. Yeah, you can see my cursor on the screen. And look, this is obviously based off of us in attack mode, right? We're in their half, we're looking to attack, and they happen to get possession off of us. So we are spread out. The contact with us defensively, with the players isn't quite there. You can see how spread the defense is, right? Clearly, they just got possession because we're not compact. We're not too tight to our opponents. But the fact that Trent right here catches that ball and puts the weight on it, and I'm gonna play this in sections. But the fact that he was able to do this put us under some pressure because obviously we play a high line. We're going to suffocate. We're going to put pressure on any opponent that we have, right? He puts that ball in a great space. He puts it in a great space, and let's watch it go through. Plays it over the top, and Jota's racing onto it, and Akanji. This is Akanji right here. Does a good job of closing the gap and getting to him. And then Ederson obviously falls back to make a chance to maybe stop a shot attempt. But Jota does a good job. He kind of makes himself, big. He gets control of the ball. He tries to slow things up. We got Diaz racing back. He obviously sees a threat. I'm assuming this is Gakpo, I think. And I think this is Rodri racing back. But Salah, we know, is quick. And Diaz then kind of reads it. He kind of falls off of Gakpo, trying to get in line with what Salah was trying to do. And Salah he had all time. He had all the time in the world to do it. And yeah, Akanji makes a good attempt to try to get off of one, defending Jota, and then two, to then kind of close in on the ball. But counter. Excellent counter, expected counter. Liverpool look to feed off of that against us. And honestly, many clubs look to feed off of that against us. The counter attack is how many clubs choose to approach City. They kind of concede we're not going to have possession like them. They're going to concede that they're going to be under the pressure. They're going to be constricted, and they're going to look for their chances. So that's an expected tactic from many teams. I want to shout out those of you in the comments real quick. Blue Heart goes, it has to be said that our build-up play has improved since the start of the season. Blue Heart, 100%. Players know where other players are. And on top of that, there's a choreography. There's kind of like, there's the timing on when to move and when not to move with regards to making themselves available for passes or running into space. And our buildup is looking so crisp right now. So crisp. I love to see it. Daniel, big up Vader, big up Daniel. I said Danny, my bad. But Daniel in the building too, shout out. I want to point this out, guys. When you guys are in the comments and you guys are able to give me your 2 cents, you shout me out amazingly. But I went back and watched the previous show, and you guys were in the comments, and you asked me a few questions, and when I went back and watched it, I was like, that took the show in such a great direction because I was then thinking things differently. So I want to say, I say all that to say this. Thank you for being in the comments. And when you throw in your points of view with regards to the game or the upcoming games, it's always appreciated. Ali, hey, my guy, beep, yo. Blue Heart goes, they took their goal really well. They are dangerous on the break, and in the past have taken every few chances on the counter. They aren't as clinical as this season. They aren't as clinical. I agree. Because this season, they don't have Mane, who was very, very surgical and clinical against us. They don't have Jota, who's hurt us as well. And in Salah, I know to his standards, he's having a poor season, but he's also not as dangerous. He's not a threat. He seems to be kind of ghosting a little bit out wherever he is on that wing. He doesn't seem to be such a priority. YSK goes, it started with Alisson bypassing most of our press by passing it to Fabinho, and TA gave the good ball. That's it. And we knew that. Even the goal that we conceded at Anfield when KDB, and it still hurts me, but KDB free kick kicks it into Alisson's hands. Alisson keeps his head up. He's looking, and he sees one-on-one Salah and Cancelo, and he gives a great kick out. Mancunian Way, and in the building, he goes, evening Vader will be, hey, respect. Anytime you can make it, my guy. Just going through the goals real quick. Blue Heart also goes to say, give Vader a huge thumbs up, guys. Another great City channel. Hey, Blue Heart, thank you so much, man. I try to do things. I definitely do things my way. If you enjoy it, great. Feedback, I always take. Didn't mean to make that rhyme, but I could have been a rapper in another time. I didn't mean to do that either. But the feedback you guys give me has been exceptional. For me, it's been exceptional. I'm diarying. Diarying. That sounded horrible. But I get to diary my football journey, right? We go through the season. I get to do this as kind of like a journal, and even going back and watching the emotion and watching some of my takes from the past. It's really enjoyable. And the fact that I get to do it with you guys is a huge pleasure. But we go back to the goal now. Like Blue Heart mentioned, they took their chance and they made it happen. They made it happen. And the question was, would we respond? I got to be real with you. Based off of some of the attempts that we had earlier and they didn't quite click, like ball to Gundo. Gundo kind of squared it. Didn't really get to Alvarez either. I was like, we're going to get our chances. I'm not, honestly, the midfield and the defense did not stress me like past years. Did not stress me at all. I know we had no Haaland. I know we had no Foden, but I was still calm with it. Now, let's look at the next goal. Or the next build-up. Actually, no, I should go to the next goal, I should say. And do that. Now, what you don't see, and I think I'm blocking it. What you don't see is the ball. The ball is at Mahrez's feet right now. But that ball got to him from KDB. Okay? The ball got to him from KDB. So we see Mahrez, and Mahrez is on it right now. Mahrez is on it right now. Not even low key. Man's been playing really, really well. So we're gonna watch this play out. YouTube, do not copy strike me. This is strictly for learning, study, knowledge purposes. All right, review purposes. Watch this. Mahrez, close contact on the dribble. Van Dijk is like, is he gonna continue to go on? Like, is he gonna continue to go down the wing? Is he gonna kind of cross me? He doesn't quite know. Classic Van Dijk jockeying, right? Classic Van Dijk aura defending. I love that. The aura defending. You know what? I should be doing the goal review, but let me address Van Dijk real quick. He's not past it. Van Dijk's not past it, but there's something. I don't know if it's the defensive coach. I don't know if it's Klopp. Someone needs to tell him that he can go for standing tackles. He can go to win the ball. He's quick. He's strong. If he misses with Mahrez, he bodies Mahrez, right? He's not the last man back. He's got time. There's just something with Van Dijk's mentality right now. It's like he doesn't commit. Mahrez is obviously less threatening at this part of the pitch than he is to continue going down the pitch, right? But let's continue to watch this. Mahrez, quick feet, crosses him. Van Dijk's got his back to him. Where is Mahrez going? Is he going to cut back again? Mahrez decides to keep going across. Van Dijk follows him. Actually put in a standing tackle. He missed it, but he keeps going. But Mahrez had played the ball off. Plays it off to Gundo. Gundo, instinctively, and to Blue Heart's point earlier, the players in the build-up, so much sharper than what it was at the beginning of the season. Because Gundo almost did that, just eyes closed, just knowing. Lays the ball over to Grealish. And Gundo did that with the perfect pace. Grealish did not waste a touch, puts that ball across Trent. Trent misses. Spider-Man gets the goal. Julian Alvarez gets the goal. What a fantastic build-up, quality team play. Oh, this is the shot. So, okay, you kind of see this now. So this is KDB. KDB played that ball to Mahrez over here. KDB played the ball to Mahrez. And even if you look at it, numerically, it's actually pretty good. So we've got the advantage here because Mahrez is one-on-one. The Liverpool are chasing back. And I believe it's not Kanate. So who's that? Who is that? Maybe it is. Maybe it's Kanate. But we've got Alvarez as well as Gundo here. Yeah, it is Kanate. But look at that. What a beautiful. Now, I paused it right here because I'm wondering, did Allison think that Jack was going to shoot it? Because he is covering. Yeah, he had to commit to the post. He had to commit. And then the square pass just got past Trent. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excelente. Magnifico. Très, très, très joli. Got me speaking different languages. Julian goes, Mahrez hit VBD with that Iverson thing. Yeah, he crossed him up. Julian, he crossed him up with the hezzy? With the hezzy? Yeah, no, man. It was nice. For those of you that follow basketball. Now, City Blue goes, usually Liverpool fans are up for it, but in the ground on Sunday, they were on mute. Bar the goal, walking back after the after the leveler, none of their team could even look at each other. I'm saying, I think they knew, like, they got that goal because even when Salah got that goal, the celebrations wasn't crazy. It wasn't like, yo, we're on it. We're gonna make this a long day for you, City. It's like Salah scored his goal and he was still kind of like, let's get back to business, right? When we scored, I think they knew. I think they knew. They knew they're about to do this. Like, because the way that buildup happened where they were dissected. They were cut. They were cut up. Blue Heart goes, I actually think that Mahrez's first touch sends the fear of God into some defenders. It's so fantastic. It gives him more space and control. Blue, there's not a better first touch. I'm saying it. There is not a better first touch. And because he can choose to keep that close control, make the defender come out to him. The defender wonders, is that first touch actually going to lead him to a different space? We saw what he did against Liverpool the last game, right? That first touch, he actually took that outside foot touch to give him space and then killed it. He's killing it. City goes, having said that, we were magnificent. Give Stones his chips and gravy. Stones, City Blue. Stones is a couple headers during the game. I was like, Stones, you got to fix up, man. I don't like where these headers are going. I get it. We're holding possession. He saw where he could but the placement of those headers were a little off. He fixed up. Everything was calm after that, and he put on a fantastic performance. Now, that's going to lead me a little later, so I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that, City Blue Peter. YSK goes, beautiful goal. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said, masterpiece. It was training ground sessions right there, right? Absolutely great. Blue Heart, a double portion City Blue Pleater. A double portion. Let's go. Now, that was goal number 1. All right. Now, I have to do this. I'm going to take my time with this one. I got to take my time with this one. Alvarez is absolute quality. There's no disrespect when saying that he is not Haaland, and obviously Haaland's not him. They're different players. They bring different things to the team in terms of ability and what they're able to execute. Can Haaland get to a level where he maybe does things similar to Alvarez and vice versa? 100%. I think the mobility of Alvarez allows him to get into a couple different pockets. He's a smaller player, a lighter player, so maybe the amount of running that he's able to do possibly exceeds what Haaland can right now. Haaland gets his fitness up, that may change. But the way Alvarez was able to drop into some pockets and get the ball, and the fact that he's right-footed, he's a dominant right foot, I think is why the way this pass sprung out happened. If it was Haaland roles reverse, I think Haaland would be more suited to kind of spray a pass on the left-hand side. But let's look at this real quick. We got Alvarez right here. That's where the curse is. We got KDB offside because he had actually gone on a run a little earlier. Didn't happen, right? And I think that was Alvarez kind of win possession. But out wide, you got Mahrez again. Mahrez involved in a goal again. And then we got Jack Grealish out here wide. Gundogan here. Ball gets played. Alvarez puts it into space. KDB makes sure not to commit so he doesn't get drawn offside. Doesn't run towards the ball. He kind of checks up. Mahrez sprints down. Mahrez isn't the quickest. Isn't the quickest. But I have to say this. I actually have to say this. Jack's been holding on to some speed, guys. Jack's been holding on to some speed because you saw the chase down against Salah. I know it's not part of the goal highlights, but he chased down Salah to prevent a second goal. All right. The fact that Jack has this speed, not that he chooses not to use it, maybe the amount of wind sprints, right? The amount of runs that he's able to do are probably low, right? If for those of you that play FIFA, he probably can't do too many sprints. You can't hold R1 and do two. Is it R1 or R2? R2. You can't hold R2 and do too many sprints with him. But he has it. Grealish has that speed. But we look at the ball being played out wide. Mahrez again. Mahrez on it. Look at one touch right foot. One touch right foot. For I believe for you FIFA players, Mahrez is actually a 4-star right footer. He's a 5-star left footer. I think he's a 4-star weak foot. I'm showing that I'm a gamer. But Mahrez squares it right across. KDB continued to run. He made sure that he was onside. Jack actually makes up some ground. He's actually slightly ahead of who would that be? Maybe that's Konate. Slightly ahead of Konate now. But the ball gets squared. Goal number 2, and look at the timestamp there. 45 and 52 seconds into the game. 45-52 into the game. Man was amped. No, not lying to you. I was amped. I was gassed. I was mad loud. And that game took place at 7:30 in the morning for me out here in Toronto. It was absolutely beautiful. Let me go to these comments real quick. Cap in the building. It was hard for me to keep up with Alvarez, with what Alvarez was going to do next. Image having to defend him. It's hard to figure out what Alvarez is looking to do, what space he's trying to get into. And I think that's why, and I get it. Many Liverpool fans were saying that they'd rather face Haaland than Alvarez because Alvarez is going to draw them away and he's going to be constantly moving. Okay, cool, you can say that. But then there's a physicality that Haaland also brings, and he works at it. So there's different stresses, different things that'll keep defenders up late at night. But this goal, again, brilliant build-up. Brilliant team play, and the fact that they were all running and getting into spaces, getting into those pockets, huge. City Blue Peter, thumbs up. Julian goes, Alvarez pass was 10. It was. Into space. Mahrez running onto it. Absolute quality. Blue heart. The Alvarez goal was trademark City, wasn't it? The ball from Jack was beautiful, and everything before was classic City. Play, movement with speed. Now, the great thing about that Alvarez goal, right? Like just the way it happened reminded me of the 6-1 Silva, the 6-1 versus United Silva, left-footed, kind of like back to United goal, but he kind of just sprays a pass and Dzeko runs onto it, right? That's what it reminded me of. The players are knowing where players are, and it's threatening. It's dangerous. City Blue Peter goes, missed the second goal as the level of service in the concourse was nowhere near that of. Oh man, this is absolutely beautiful. Now that was goal 2 or goal 3 of the goals that have scored. Goal 2 for City. Let's go to the next one. Oh, that's just a highlight. Ball across, right-footed Mahrez. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now. I'm going to show this angle instead. I'm showing this angle instead because I think it's better for a breakdown. Okay. I'm going to let it play out. Ball gets played out to Mahrez. I think I'm blocking it. Yeah, he's not in screen yet. Mahrez doing a little 1-2s. Watch the 1-2s. Watch the 1-2s. We faked it right now, right? KDB does an overlap, and then Mahrez goes and squares it, but plays it to the middle. Plays it to the middle to Alvarez, and Alvarez, he's ready to shoot. If he's got any daylight, right? Any ability to get that foot, put some power on it, and shoot, he's going to do it. That's what I love about him and Haaland. Trigger happy in that box, ready to shoot. You need shooters. And Alvarez kind of gets his foot squared up, gets kind of lined up, puts it on his left, and that was on target. Trent put a foot on it, stopped it. Because Alisson was beat. That was going to be a goal. Trent puts a foot on it, stops it. Okay? Gundo, he's like a ghost. He just pops up in the right time. Gundo right there with the ball. Awkward because the ball was really close to him. Awkward, but he was able to get enough power on it, put some air on it so that Trent couldn't get another block, and gets that goal. Absolutely fantastic. Let me go to the comments. Blue Heart goes, with quality players, it's hard to say which foot is the strongest. I know it is, but one thing I always look at is which foot do they tend to use for controlling the ball? Which foot do they tend to use when carrying the ball, like when doing their sprints forward? That tends to tell you what foot most players are comfortable with. Every once in a while, you get an ambidextrous player that seems to do it at will. But when it's like everything's clear, everything's calm, which foot do they choose to use? And we know Mahrez is left-footed. Blue Heart goes, I agree, Glendon. The Alvarez pass was like a KDB heat seeker. This is what I love. With these guys training with each other, and they say, and we know this, iron sharpens iron. So they're training with each other. They're like, oh, and we've all done this. We see a skill move, whether we're watching the pros or we see something happening with our, 6 versus 6 or however you play. And we're like, yo, I'm going to go try that. You end up trying things. The fact that KDB, Alvarez, Silva, Grealish, Foden, Mahrez, Gundo, they're all training together. Palmer, Perone now, right? Phillips, Rodri, all these guys working together, they're going to be picking up things and they're going to be trying them on their own and going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to bring that to my game. And then obviously the fact that our offense plays against our defense and they have to like outwit each other in training just makes them better. Dudley in the building, my guy. Hi. Julian goes true. Let me say this. The goalie got a touch on that ball in as well. KDB did well to watch the flight of the ball. He did. And he was like, you know what? This is where the ball's coming, the path of it. I'm going to play for it. I think had Alisson even provided more of a stop or deflected it even more, I think KDB still would have gotten that goal. I think he was still going to be dialed in. 9 Liverpool players in that box. Yo, glad you saw that. See, this is what I'm talking about when we interact. I'm going to go back and see that again. Dudley goes true. Cap, that was sexy football. My word. It's absolutely beautiful. When things are beautiful, you appreciate it. And you know quality when you see it. Yeah, you can stumble on and get some of those lucky right place, right time type goals, but then you can also be like the build-up in itself is also sexy to the goal. And when you have both of them, you gotta give the appreciation. Now let's see this. I'm trying to find where the ball is. Okay, the ball's at Gundo's feet right now. Okay. Gundo has a choice. I think he can play it. He can play it here for Alvarez. And that looks like KDB out wide. Gundo continues to carry the ball. He does play it. Plays it to Alvarez. Alvarez does a great job to kind of stop, get control of it. He's got Konate all over him. Fabinho's dropping back. Keeps possession, Alvarez does. And then plays it out to Jack. Oh, you know what? This isn't a goal, but this is something I want to point out. I'm going to play this out. Jack waits for Trent. R1 circle, R1 finesse shot. Jack tries the R1 finesse shot. I usually, when I play FIFA, I'm usually outside of the 18-yard box when I try this. but he tries to go far post. Doesn't quite get the height on it, but the thinking to take that shot is what we need. Because now any keeper is like, they gotta do their best to try to see the ball, right? Because they need to react if Jack takes a shot. Also, if Jack is making that an option for him, right? If he's taking those defensively, the defenders are going to be guarding him differently. They're going to kind of also shadow more to his right, their left, and not give that far post shot. So I like that he took it, and because it creates options, creates future options. Blue Heart, too sexy for disco dancing and too sexy for the shirt. I see what you did there. Maybe not the shirt. I hear you. I hear you. Now, this is what I like, the aggressiveness from Jack, right? The aggressiveness from Jack is what we need. Needs to take a shot. 73rd minute. And this is what I'm going to get into right after the goal review. Okay, this is what I'm going to get into right after the goal review. Let me check something out real quick. Okay, my bad. Now, Jack is no slouch with the first touch. Jack is no slouch. He's not Mahrez. I would say he's not even Foden. You know what? Actually, Manchester City YouTube did. Bernardo Silva had a video where he was kind of grading the first touches of the players. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. It's actually pretty funny. But Jack is nice. Plays it out to KDB. Again, KDB, 73rd minute, still running, still putting in those miles, those kilometers. Runs into space. I would say Jack put a little too much on that pass, but KDB made the best of it because KDB didn't touch it at all. He actually checked his run, curled it a little bit, squared himself up. Not even one touch, just passed it back to Jack. And Trent, this is where Trent does get killed, and it's deservingly so. And I said this earlier. Trent is what he can do with the ball in terms of passing, how he's able to calculate the weight, how he's able to properly judge the angles and put the ball into space. He's very talented. And he's such a threat from a defensive position because it now causes a different set of players to have to defend him, right? The fact that he's able to spray those passes from the right back position, not really occupying midfielder or attacking positions generally, makes him so much of a threat. And I think he benefits from that 100%. But then when it comes to being checked in defensively, it's just not there. He was originally marking Jack. The fact that Jack made that pass, Trent shouldn't allow Jack to run anywhere with that amount of space between them, right? But KDB, excellent pass into space. Jack knew where he was going to put that ball, and I think for him, he was good to get the right angle for it while falling to the ground on that ball. But he gets it past Alisson as well as Van Dijk, who are back there, and it was goal number 4. Absolutely beautiful. And when we look at these chances and look at the ability to score, KDB and Jack, and I think that's Mahrez who got into space. But look, and Blue Heart mentioned this a little earlier, Van Dijk, I think that's Fabinho, that's Trent, Konate, I don't know who that is. That's probably Robertson, I believe. But these are 3 players out making the best of an opportunity where they're outnumbered. So when you're able to score and create these chances with not having numerical superiority, dangerous. 3 against 5, 3 against 6, and you're scoring. That's where we need to be at. That's where we've been before the international break, and how we've continued on. And that's why we should be amped up moving forward. That these players are playing so nice, and they're playing so nice with no Haaland and no Foden. I can't stress it enough. What a great return to league play. And those were the goals that took place. The City versus Liverpool goal reviews. We're able to do it here on Why Always Me, episode 67, episode 77. Almost, took off 10. I took off 10 shows off that. But this is why we're so dangerous, and why we got to remember that even though we're not as direct as we used to be, we still pick those moments, and we're still very dangerous and threatening. So some of the fan base that wants to have those quick pacers and be a little more direct, if Jack and Mahrez are playing like this, they're taking their chances, they're making themselves threatening. We don't need to do that with pace necessarily. And we know that Jack's fast. Salah is one of the fastest players in the league. There's no doubt about it. Salah has killed many teams, many defenders because of the pace that he has, and Jack chased him down. Let me shout this out. Let me get to the comments. Let me make sure I get back to where I was. Cap goes, that KDB pass, not easy. It was not easy. The way he kind of curled around it, got it on his left foot, and kind of squared it to Jack, it was not easy. All one motion. The way KDB scans and he's able to put the weight on passes is absolutely beautiful. Blue Heart goes, does anyone else think that Jack is getting better game by game? He was a dynamo against Liverpool. He'll be nuclear fusion at his current rate of progress. If this stays steady, Blue Heart, if this stays steady and Jack is playing like that, and it's not even, and I tweeted this often, that performance from Jack was stellar even without the goal. The way he was attacking, the way he was getting into space, the way he was making defenders have to make a decision and playing the right pass, but aggressive, direct passes, continued threatening passes, not quote unquote, not recycling or not keeping possession. If Jack continues to do that, no one's going to have any complaints. And honestly, no one should have had complaints even without the goal with regards to that game. I see my man backstage in the green room, the Mancunian way, Martin. Goes by Martin these days. He's going to be joining the space, and we're going to continue going over these comments. Martin, how you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Well, I had to change it. You're shouting at me.
I didn't shout. I always respected the name. I hesitated.
No, he did. No, you did. You bullied me. Let's be honest.
I bullied Martin from the Trouble Father to Martin. Thanks for being on the show, man. I was just going over the goals. I'm not sure how much you're able to hear. Oh, my bad. I see that you got it through the CIA. Yeah, the goals have been absolutely fantastic since our return from the international break. So I was doing a quick review. I'm going to go to the comments, and I'm going to go to yours, actually. You go, Jack has been doing that for a while now, just needed the goal. The tackle against Spurs was outstanding, and you're absolutely right. The tackle against Spurs and then the tackle against Salah, you pointed this out when we had talked, I think in one of the spaces, or maybe it might have been the show, but you pointed out how, yeah, they all kind of blur together.
I'm not allowed to mention that show.
But it was the fact that Jack has been so dialed in. He's clearly understands his role a lot better too, and he's been quality. Let me go to Blue Heart. Go ahead.
He's been quality since the World Cup.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's just time.
Yeah. Blue Heart goes, shout out to KDB. KDB could pass a brilliant pass blindfolded. I reckon his instincts are like psychic powers. He is like that. It's like there's the kung fu movies, Blue Heart, where the kung fu master is training his pupil, and he makes them train blindfolded, so that all the other senses are heightened. It's like KDB has done things so particular with so much emphasis on being specific and exact that he knows every blade of grass and he knows how to put these passes with the right weight. It's absolutely beautiful to watch. And that he trains himself to it. He's not just spamming anything. He's very calculated with when he does it. City Blue Peter goes, felt sorry for Trent as he was left one-on-one all game as we just played through their press so easily. players getting time to hit both wingers was how we ruined them. I get you. And this is what's going to be interesting. And City Blue, not to go too far in the future, but teams that choose to defend against us like that, one-on-one or high up the pitch, are far and few in between. So I think if Liverpool had chosen to maybe fall back or not have Trent defend one-on-one, because honestly, at times he should. That's why they do have some of their advantages when they do gain possession. But we won't face many teams like that. And the teams that choose to do that, Jack and Mahrez, need to remain aggressive. Dudley goes class goal from Jack, class movement from KDB as well. Cap, I love the pace of those transitions. Defense definitely been sped up lately. Yep, guys know where they need to be, and they're reacting quickly. Easy dub incoming. FIFA, relax. We do need the dub. It's a mandatory. It's a must-win against Southampton, but relax with the easy dub. Blue Heart goes evening, Martin. Danny earlier. Big up, Vader. Thank you, guys. Blue Heart, thanks. That's Kung Fu KDB. You're right, Vader. Kung Fu KDB. Imagine he had one of the coaches that had him practice ball control or practice passing or maybe practice free kicks blindfolded. Just heightens everything. KDB, born perfect. Bless him. Big Morgan in the building. FIFA, my PFP is goated. Your PFP is goated. And he goes, why relax? Oh, FIFA goes, why relax? Not sure. Now, let me do this proper. Do this. Vader game. Now, how we scored those goals, when we scored those goals, made decisions for Klopp a lot easier and gave him clarity. And you may be wondering, Vader, what are you getting at? What's that all about? I saw this and I kind of questioned it with regards to Champions League. How do I say this? Versus Real Madrid, over at Real Madrid, I got the sense that Klopp was doing damage control. I think Klopp looked at his squad and didn't put them out to go blitz, just attack, put Real Madrid under pressure to get that goal. I think he kind of played it like, let me get through this first half with no damage, and then the second half, let me feel my way towards a possible win, but not necessarily let me close this gap and win over aggregate. I did not get a sense from him, his team, even the fan base, that was their mission. That Klopp still exists. He's still around. And I saw that defeated, that pragmatic, that lose the battle to try and win the war, which may be a late charge for top four, which he's done in past seasons. He was like, you know what?
No.
I'm down 3-1. I'm down 3-1 against City. It's the 70th minute. Or no, actually, what minute was it? I believe the goal. No, it was like the 65th minute or something like that. I'm down 3-1. I have to play in another 3 days, and after 3 days of that, I've got to play again against Arsenal. I need my bodies. I need my bodies. I think he knew 3-1, 4-1. I'm not getting this back from City. They're too good. They've outclassed me. They've scored 4 goals at 60-something minutes in the game. There's no point of me having Salah, Jota, Robertson continue to play this game, because by the 70th minute, he had subbed off Salah, Jota, and Robertson. That was my take on it, Martin. I think he was like, I'm not getting these goals back. City's too good tonight. or today because it was an early game. I'm gonna save these legs.
I think he's giving up the season.
You think he gave up the season based
Yeah.
off of before?
No. I think he gave it up on Tuesday night last night when he played Chelsea.
Okay,
because
but you're in the future. You're in the future. I'm talking about our game. Our game at the 70th minute, he chose to take off Salah, Jota, and Robinson.
Yeah, the game was over. He said that himself, even at 2-1, 3-1. Okay. The game's done against City. He said that, and you can tell with the way we were controlling it. Liverpool couldn't do what they had to do.
Okay.
So Salah's not been on it since he signed his new contract. Let's get this straight right now. Mohamed Salah is not the Mohamed Salah they saw last season. Mohamed Salah got his nice little bump and sat back and put his feet up on the beach and his flip-flops and went, thanks.
Ooh. He played for the contract and then
yeah. And even Liverpool fans will tell you that. No, an honest Liverpool fan will tell you Salah's been awful all season. I know he scored 27 goals, but he's not been good. He's not been good at all.
The Liverpool
he's
fans
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Well, Liverpool fans are waiting Klopp out now. Kind of find it quite funny. But no, in all honesty, I don't blame him taking him off.
No,
I really don't.
I don't either. No, I don't either. And I agree with you. So going, and even earlier in the season, I believe early in the season, I think they already had things kind of like calmed down Champions League wise, but they were still a little rocky within the league. And he'd actually rested Salah versus Rangers. And I think Salah came on versus Rangers and had the quickest hat trick based off of time spent on the pitch in Champions League, right? But he's picked moments to kind of rest players, and I think he conceded. And Blue Heart goes, I agree with you, Vader. Klopp saw the white flag in his mind and threw it.
He gave up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
think you'd give up. Sorry, I think you'd give up. City controlled that game from minute one.
Yeah.
Don't play into this Liverpool narrative of, we were in the game. The only part they were ever in that game was the scoreline. Because they weren't in the game any other part. Now, I know the scoreline is the most important thing, but the goal was against the run of play, massively, because City came out like a bolt of lightning. And I've always said it, and you know this, mate, you know what City you get. First 5 minutes, watch City, you know which City are turning up. If City are on it in the first 5 minutes, we're blitzing them.
Yeah,
we will blitz anyone.
And the way for the last, go ahead.
And for the last 4 or 5 games, we've come out with that intent, that purpose, straight from the kickoff. If you watch, if we start dilly-dallying about from the kickoff and start doing 15 passes around the back, you kind of get the impression that they're not on it here. That something needs to G them. But if they start going 2-3 and then we're straight down the wing, or we're straight into Haaland, then you can tell, because City created chances in the first minute.
Yeah, the first few minutes we were in attack mode. We're in attack mode. Again, and this is early on. I was like, are we going to have these chances? But they're not going to go in with no Haaland in that box. But I love the approach. I love the attitude that we took. And you're absolutely right with regards to, you kind of know the City that we're going to get. Now, I think Klopp obviously went out there to try to get the dub, but he wasn't able to do it. We were the better team that day. We basically said, you know what, it's not your day today. And Klopp was like, you know what, I got another game, short turnaround versus Chelsea that I have to travel to, and then I got to play the top of the league Arsenal team a few days later after that. So I'm gonna need these bodies. So Blue Heart agrees with me. Cap goes, it was hilarious. I see Nunez signal he was going to press Ederson, but after we scored the 4th goal, he didn't press again. No, he didn't. And he was subbed on as a fresh leg and chose to no longer do it.
Darwin Nunez couldn't press juice out of an orange.
He's an attacker. He's not defensively minded. I don't really trust him on it either. Although I do like how sometimes he does defensively, he does get back, and because of his pace, he does make life a little difficult for teams. But
90-odd million, beta. 90-odd million.
I know. He's not worth the price tag. I hear you. Julian goes, Liverpool.
Sorry, I just need to remind people how much he cost.
Nah, no. Zane's not in the chat today, so things are kind of calm. Whether he sees us on the replay and hits me up in the comments, but no, I think he'd be quick to tell you that Nunez has a lot more to prove, and most likely it'll happen next season. Julian goes, Liverpool are seriously disjointed, like they never played together. Julian, the fact that they invested so much with regards to their attack, and we all hear what they chose or not chose to do with regards to the midfield, but defensively, no, we'll get there.
So did you just say heavy invested in their front line? Are you saying Liverpool invested?
Nunez, Gakpo.
That's not the narrative. No, that's not the narrative.
I know, but we don't do narratives. We're not doing narratives. This is why I always mean we're giving it to them proper. But the fact that they spent in their attack, and honestly, I know that I think Van Dijk just needs a kick in the butt. He needs, and let me deal with this real quick. He needs a kick in the butt from anyone that tells him, listen, we know there's a player in you. We know you can get back to your old form, fix up, and start doing it. For what I've seen, he's been approached by Milner. He's been approached by Henderson. I get it. They're not the player that you are, but these are captains. These are players that have the authority and they have the distinction, and they've been given the right to check players. And I've seen on many occasions, those two in particular talk to him, and he brushes them off. He needs to get rid of that ego. He needs to get back to what made him successful and engage defensively. And until he does that, he won't be that player. But that's why they're so just disjointed. I think they've invested in their attack. They still need to do that in their midfield. Defensively, I don't think they have so many missing parts. Maybe some say Robertson needs competition, and some they need a center back. But between Konate and Van Dijk, and then Van Dijk really just fixes up and has the right mental attitude, I think he'd be fine. They just need some backup. But they still have a quality back line. It's the midfield that they need to fix. Blue Heart goes, they have seriously lost their mojo, Glendon. Yeah, he's talking to Julian. They have lost their mojo, and I think it's players not listening to each other. It's players not listening to each other, whether you're at the level or not. When you have your captain talking to you, you need to do this. You got to listen. And Van Dijk's been ignoring Henderson as well as Milner. They're 21 points behind us right now. Yeah, they've fallen off. But they've fallen off. We got to focus on Arsenal. Nunez in our squad would probably be nice, as good as as is with the current Liverpool squad. Yeah, I mean, Nunez would be the last option. Honestly, he would be last option because what he doesn't fit with our possession. He doesn't fit with how we attack. He actually doesn't even fit mentally with the decisions that need to be made when the opportunities to attack aren't there. I don't trust him with the ball. I don't trust him making the right decisions with some of the passes that he would have to make when he doesn't have an attacking advantage. We got you in the building, Lorenzo. Guys, surely we can play with both Haaland and Alvarez. I think we're more potent with both on the pitch. Lorenzo, relax with that. There's a show. There's a show that's going to address that. Haaland and Alvarez. Trust me, Pep has played with the two of them before. And you know what, Lorenzo, you know what? We're doing this right now. Lorenzo, we're doing this right now. Let me do this. Actually, let me.
Can of worms. Here we go.
I meant to do this. Hold on.
Vader game.
Okay. Bear with me when I do a little magic here. I'm gonna put this.
It's a good job I've researched a lot of this.
Who did?
I've done a lot of research recently on this. Because everyone thinks I hate Alvarez. And everyone thinks I hate this, that, and the other.
You don't hate Alvarez?
No, I don't. I actually don't hate Alvarez. I don't know where that came from.
I'm kidding.
No. It came from your comment the other day about this two up front.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Martin's done a
It
little
ain't
research.
happening. It ain't
I'm,
happening.
I'm doing this real quick. All right, let me. I
Go
don't
on.
know if it's gonna show up.
Listen, and it's only because I am seriously. I was going to do a show. I'm going to do a show in it at some point. I don't know when. It might be 2 months down the line. But I've seriously been looking at squads. I've been looking at numbers. I've been looking at appearances. I've been looking at goals to minutes ratio, goals to games ratio.
Okay.
Not just for Alvarez. I've also been looking at for Gabby as well. And I was pleasantly surprised on Gabby when we actually got into those little stats.
Nice. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Lorenzo in the building, and I see you, and you see topic-wise, I'm cutting myself off, but topic-wise, we're going to deal, and we've already dealt with the international break, no Russ, no Haaland, no Foden, no problem. We dealt with Pep and him building up trust throughout the entire year to be able to rely on players when we get to the latter stages of the season, right? We often hear this, the business end of the season. So we've gone to that, and Pep's building the trust from the very beginning. You don't just insert players based off of injury. You want them ready based off of tactics, opponents in front of you. We reviewed all 5 goals that happened in the City versus Liverpool game. We slapped them up. And then we also addressed Klopp making his substitutions at the 70th minute with regards to Salah, Jota, and Robertson. And then we dealt with that. Now, Lorenzo, great comment. And this is, I mentioned this early in the show, with you guys interacting, sometimes it leads the show into a different direction, and I love it. I am gonna be really concise with this. We're already an hour, 6 minutes in. I'm gonna keep this show nice, short, and sweet, because I know that you guys are like it and appreciate it that way. So Lorenzo, let me do this. Let me put this on screen, because I was actually planning on talking about this to a certain degree. But I shared this in. Did I share this in the CIA group chat? I think I might have. But 2017, 2018, I went back, and the app that I use to watch games, it often brings up like classic games, right? And I think in light of us playing against Liverpool, it brought up the 2017, 2018 game. And so when I went back and I saw the lineup and I shared it, I was like, oh. And I'm gonna share this with you guys right now. So on screen at keeper, we had Ederson. We had a defensive back line, all right, of Danilo playing right back essentially. We had Stones playing center back, and we had Otamendi playing left back. Otamendi was right-footed, but he played left back. This is Pep using what he has. He's like MacGyver. For you old school, actually they remade the show, but old school MacGyver was brilliant. Anything around him, right? If he had a clothespin, if he had a pencil, if he had a pen with a spring, if he had a battery, he'd make a bomb. This is what he did. Anything around him, he used it to his advantage. Now, this is Pep using Otamendi, right-footed center back, as a left back in a back three. Fernandinho, he had at defensive mid, but then quote unquote midfielders. Okay, midfielders. He had Walker, KDB, David Silva, and Mendy in that midfield. Okay, that's what he had. And at forwards, the two up top. Okay, the two up top was Aguero and Jesus. Okay, I know it's not showing up the best on screen, but let me put the cursor on here. So this is Aguero, obviously. That's Jesus. We got Mendy, Silva, KDB, Walker, Fernandinho, Otamendi, Stones, Danilo, and Ederson. Okay, this is Pep in 2017. Early settings, trying to get this back three. Not quite the the defense that we're doing now, or even the midfield inverted that we're doing now. But you can see that Pep wanted to. He was already shifting things, right? We would never see Walker play in the midfield today, right? He's kind of realized like that's not a best suited for him. But the reason why I was excited when I saw this, and Lorenzo, why I had to get into this, all right? I had to get into this, and let me go back. Lorenzo goes, we doing this. Yes, we're doing this 100%. This is 2017. Fast forward 2023 now. What's to say? Not quite the same setup, and I'm not sure what Martin's gonna have to say. But what's to say we don't see a Haaland and Alvarez not quite set up this way, but we can see the two of them on the pitch. We can see the two of them on the pitch. Martin, I'm not sure if you see the screen right now.
I can see it.
Okay, so let's envision maybe he goes a little more central.
Mm-hmm.
He brings Haaland more central, and then has Alvarez drop down a little bit into that midfield, into that 10.
KDB.
KDB's still there though. We can have KDB still there though, and KDB can be a little in possession, can go wide, or Alvarez can go wide depending on things situationally.
So who do we drop?
Who would we drop?
This is the problem, Vader.
No, it's not.
I know, Vader. I've asked this question to so many City fans.
No, so
no one can tell me.
Okay. No, we're doing this. We're doing this. Hold on.
No one can tell me because I go. Do you drop Grealish? You drop Foden?
We're doing it.
Do you drop Bernardo?
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Who'd you drop?
We're doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
Pep does not play two up top.
We're doing it right now. No, it doesn't have to be two up top, but we can have both of them on the pitch.
He plays it once every 6 years, Vader.
We're doing it right now. No, stop it. All right, so I'm gonna switch out Alvarez.
I love it. We're doing it. No.
So we're not doing this formation, guys. We're not doing a 3-2-3-2. We're not doing that because obviously Pep won't play the two up top from a formation standpoint. But situationally, they may move. But let's find the best one that makes sense here. Not even that. Not even that.
Promise you now, Ray, when we get into this in a minute, you are going to have a major stumbling problem.
I'm trying to find the.
You're going to have a major stumbling problem.
All right, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this for example's sake, guys. But let's just understand that KDB and Gundo are more central. Okay, they're not going to be wide like that, but they're going to be more central. Okay, let's keep that in mind. So now up top, obviously it's going to be Haaland. We're doing this real time. Sorry if I'm falling behind on the comments, but we're doing this. And then out wide, we're going to keep that. That's going to remain the same. That's going to be Grealish. Instead of the right wing, that's going to be Alvarez. Okay. In defensively, in the midfield. What did I want to do there? Rodri. Okay, no. Oh, let me clean this up. Who's this? Instead of Rodri. Oh man.
Instead of Rodri.
No. I mean instead of Ake. Or instead of Stones. Yeah, Stones is gonna be Ake. Come on, give me the option here. Oh, they don't recognize that? Nathan? Should have done this for you. You know what? No, we're doing this. Diaz, and then on the right-hand side, we're going to go with... Yeah. No, we're good. So instead of... That's going to be Rodri. Because you know what? We saw this just this last game. It's not that
because we had injuries, Vader.
No. We're gonna go with.
It is. Are you? Don't want to say anything.
No. Talk. Of course.
Do you know what it is? The trouble is, you got to remember, there was no Haaland, there was no Phil Foden.
Yeah.
When they're fit, they're back in.
Okay.
So here's the problem, Beta. With the system we currently play, because I know it's Franklin said drop fullback. We don't really play fullbacks anymore. So you can't drop a fullback. Fullbacks can't be dropped because we don't play fullbacks. Do you drop Grealish right now? Nope, he's in form. Foden is generally in when he's fit and he's on form. Grealish is generally in when he's fit and in form. Haaland's fit when he's in form. And KDB's in.
Okay.
So
okay, you know
I'm going to come back to the question, where does Alvarez go?
Okay.
But this is my issue, Beta. People are trying to shoehorn Alvarez into the 11.
No, okay. So you think the best 11 is
right
Grealish,
now,
Haaland, and Foden? No. Just
yeah,
in general.
that's 100%.
Okay. So then,
Otherwise, which one are you dropping? Are you dropping Foden or Grealish? To get Alvarez into this team, KDB, Foden or Grealish, one has to go out of the team. This is why the two up front will never work. The last time he did it, I mean, he did it against Liverpool. There was two factors in that game. Liverpool were down to 10 men.
mm-hmm.
Very early on.
He started the formation like that.
No, he did. Yeah. But it opened up more because of the 10 men, because Mane got sent off when he decided to kick Edison in the face.
Right.
Now, the problem is you've got... Look the next time he played it.
Oh, I didn't look up what game.
It was about 3 years later. Okay. And then we went to false 9.
No, I'm going to make this work. Because if we go with Ake, Diaz,
I said you were going to hit a problem, and you've hit the problem.
I got to get Walker off the pitch. That's what I got to do. So we play. Akanji. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so right back.
Or Laporte, or whoever else.
Akanji. Now, I'm saying so we got viewers. We got Grealish, Haaland, Alvarez, but Martin's saying instead of Alvarez, it would be Foden. Okay? And then
do you not think that?
No, healthy, yeah. And I know I'm behind on the comments, guys. Bear with me. So healthy has been Foden, but to get Alvarez, the danger that he poses, even if we think late in the game, okay, could we not see a drop now? Okay, here's how we do it. See, we got to talk things out.
You're going to drop KDB further back, aren't you?
I'm going to drop Gundogan.
And then you're going to lose all his potency.
Whose potency?
If you start dropping KDB back and back.
Why do I have to drop? Why would I have to drop?
No, but that's what, because again, who does Alvarez come in for? Honestly, mate, I'm not doing this to be awkward. I've asked this question to so many City fans lately, and nobody can answer it.
But I just figured it out. It's right here on the screen. So let me move it.
So you drop Gundogan?
I dropped Gundogan because
Pep won't do that, mate. You know that.
He won't do that.
He won't.
He could do that because now inserting
Gundogan's his love child. He ain't going nowhere.
Okay, you know what? Before I give my explanation, let me go to the comments because.
No, this is and listen. This is not me ever being awkward. This is me. It is a genuine question because I've said, Alvarez should be in the team, but then when you start going, who comes out when everyone's fit, you then have a problem.
No, I got it. Blue Heart goes, it's true. We don't need Nunez. We've got excellent forwards and all hitting form at the right time. 100%. FIFA goes, you hate Calvin Phillips. Don't do that.
I don't
Alvarez
hate
is
any City
quality.
player.
No, I know. It's just a joke. Alvarez is quality. The guy's work rate is out of the world. Just love his press. Facts. Get Carson in net. Nah, relax, FIFA. I noticed Erling was back in training on the City website. Hope he gets some minutes against the Saints. I think so too. Either way,
Haaland will start.
if he doesn't start, he's going to sub on and get some reps. If he does start, he's going to be subbed off to be rested. So we can expect that to happen. Cap, they won't play two strikers every game, but I think Pep will play them off to next season. Yeah, I agree. This may not be something to execute this year, and this is why I went back to 2017, because we saw how Pep had flirted with that and had that in the mix. And
then you can't buy anyone in the summer.
No, we still are buying people because people
You can't. This is what I'm saying, Beta. No, Beta, this is what I'm saying.
I am Canadian. Canadian. I can do things.
No, I know, Beta.
I'm not Jamaican. Jamaican. So
no, I know, Beta, but this is what City fans have to realise, because I've heard get Peroni and get him in, get him in, get him in.
Yeah, we will.
But what do you do with A, B, C, and D then?
We're going to talk to it. Lorenzo goes, I personally also feel Alvarez will be very, very important in the Champions League for us. I agree. Blue Heart in the building. He is quality, Lorenzo, and with loads of progress still to come. Yeah, man, 23 years old, Haaland 22, fantastic. Michael in the building. Hi, Vader, and all the blues in the chat. I just caught your stream now, Vader, mate. Thanks for being here, Michael. Always appreciate. I remember that game because that's when I knew that's when I knew he's willing to do two strikers. Exactly. And they worked so well together. I remember.
No, it's not.
It did.
It was 6 years ago.
It worked well.
It was six
Cap
years ago.
Cap is saying he knew back then. You can't.
Again, back to my question. When has he done it since?
Well, it's also a matter of personnel.
You can't go back to 6 years and go 6 years ago he played two up front.
FIFA goes, who we dropping? Okay, we're going to get into it. So, if we think about this as kind of like the main 11, let's go off of the main 11, right? Obviously, formation-wise, we know Stones creeps up to where Rodri is. They'll both be in that pivot. Akanji, Diaz, and Ake will be the back line. Okay, we get all of that. Now, what I'm suggesting here is Alvarez could play in the pocket, like similar to how Gundo is when we are in attack. I know we need to see a little more within possession, within build-up from Alvarez, because he would actually have to play a little deeper in this case, because you'd have Haaland playing.
Do you think he's strong enough for that?
I think he's strong enough for that, but it's a matter of a calmness and
that's one of my biggest things. I think he's shoved off the ball too easy at the minute.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about the physicality-wise in a Gundo position. You're going to go deep into that midfield. You've got to be physically strong to deal with it.
But I think,
I don't think he's there yet.
I think it's how he would hold and carry the ball, close contact, know where the pressure's coming from, know how to shift the ball from side to side and make the defender have to go through him to want to kind of win the ball. I also need to see a little more of him coming to the ball and then squaring up, and then now facing the opposition's net. Like, that's one thing that Gundogan does very well. But if we're
what do you do with Perot? What do you do with the Bellingham? What do you do with the McAllister if they come in?
Well, no. I'm only talking about players that we currently have.
I know, Vader, but I know what you're saying.
There's too many what ifs, Martin. We got to deal with the players that we currently have.
City are going to sign players in the summer.
Yes, I know. So when we do get them, then we can have the debate on where do players go. But as of right now, if we were to think,
right now, Gundogan won't move in big games. Ilkay Gundogan is in all the big games.
Okay.
Till the end of the season.
Okay. So we've seen Pep drop Mahrez for Silva.
Uh-huh.
We've seen Pep drop Silva for Mahrez, right? So Alvarez in that position, right? So where Foden is occupying right now, Alvarez could be there.
So you drop Foden.
Well, the same way we've had to drop Mahrez or Silva sometimes.
Foden's way above those two.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is our ability to play two at times. We could so what he asked Foden to do.
Should we have a bet for charity right now? I'll have a nice friendly bet.
Okay.
$10 Canadian, £10. He does not play two up top for the rest of the season.
You mean to start a game or?
No, you're changing it now.
No,
playing it the last 20 minutes at the end doesn't class as two up top. I'm talking about starting formation, starting 11 out.
No, okay. That's where I'm in. That's where I'm in agreement, and this is why I reverted back to. Do I have it? Will it work? See, it won't show up because I adjusted the screen. But this is why I was going back to the 2017 formation. Those of you in the comments, because I wanted to emphasize the three at the back and him wanting to have the advantage in the midfield. Now, having the advantage in the midfield could still be possible with a striker profiled player as an added body. So are
we not inverting then anymore?
He may yeah.
I just get this? I just want to clear it in my head. Is this till the end of the season, or is this for next season?
This is for next season. I don't think he's implementing anything new, radical that we haven't seen yet. I don't think we're seeing any of that. Heaven forbid, knock on wood, we don't see anything that's radically.
So are we saying we're not buying anyone in the summer then for the midfield?
Martin, we can still buy players in the midfield, and for a particular matchup, he can choose to maybe look to attack with two up front. Like if it happens to be a team that we know are going to be playing five at the back, only thing they're going to look to do is score on a set piece and possibly counter.
I understand what you're saying. I just think, I'll be honest with you, it's to shoehorn Alvarez in. This is why people are wanting it. At Bayern Munich, there was no two up top. At Barcelona, there was no two up top.
Okay, let me.
He's done it once or twice in 7 years.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Why are we changing Pep's philosophy now?
I'm not saying a steady diet of two up top. Don't get hung up on that. I'm saying the ability to have two up top as an attacking option will be available to us. And I'll be honest with you. I see that more so situationally. When we see Alvarez and Haaland on that pitch at the same time,
was it not available with Jesus though?
Jesus and Aguero. Well, yeah, but that's why I brought up the example.
But we never saw it. We saw it once.
We didn't only see that once.
Later, honestly, I promise you, we did.
Listen, okay, we're gonna put a pin in this because
he never played that two up top at home for the rest of the season after that 5-0. As soon as we beat Liverpool 5-0, go to the next game. If you can find the fixtures, go to the lineup. There was no two up top again. We went back to tight.
So in the chat, I'm not assigning homework because I will do this if you guys don't. But I'm going to go through the next series of matches to see if Pep had introduced that two attacking strikers essentially in any games. And again, I just for clarity, and I know I'm behind on the comments, but just for clarity, we've seen Pep bring Alvarez on with Haaland at times when we're quote unquote chasing a goal or however he wants to make it work. And we've also seen it within, I think, the Carabao and FA Cup at times. But the two up top together, no. That formation preset, I'll agree. I'll concede that tomorrow. No, we haven't seen that. Situationally, to have those two complement each other the way we've kind of seen Haaland and Foden or Haaland and KDB at times, I think we will see that. I'm going to work on the right website to get the formation. Maybe I need to.
What year was it? Was it 17, 18 or 16, 17?
No, 17. It was year 17, 18 of this game that happened against Liverpool. But I'm gonna continue to do some research. FIFA asked me who missed, who we dropped. I think who we dropped could either be Foden or Gundogan. It's gonna depend, but it's also matchup wise, right? We know Pep makes those decisions on how he believes he's going to be defended against as well as attacked against. And that's why I kind of say this out there. Michael goes, please get the messages out about Vader's channel, Vader Games TV. Thanks, Blues. Man, Michael, thank you so much. I think Rodri out, Carson. FIFA, stop it. Why have I should read it before I post it. Well, my God. Cap goes, Pep hasn't even been playing fullbacks lately. He will drop a fullback for two strikers. Hey, he hasn't played the traditional fullback. You're right. The fact that this formation in itself, they're all center backs. Ake has the versatility, play left back, left center back. Stones is a true center back, has played right back as well. He goes in the inverted role. We could see Alvarez introduced with a dropped Gundogan or a dropped Foden, depending on some situations, or depending on certain things that he's trying to get late in the game. Michael, it is a difficult question. Who would you drop from the first with regards to an 11 when everyone is fit? That's a great problem to have, and that's probably a combo to happen down the road. I want to get to these comments because you guys take the time to write them. I need to think about that hard and pick my best 11 for Manchester City. Brilliant stream at Vader. Thank you so much, mate. Yeah. So then there's a quote unquote our 4-3-3, right? You can start with the 4-3-3 and think who can get dropped, who moves where. And I think there is a site that allows me to pick the players as well as like click on them and move them, so I can actually shift the right formation. So I'm gonna get to that. But the homework that Martin assigned, I'm on it. He says, did we ever play two up top again? I'm gonna go and check that out. But we know that Pep has been flirting with that back three, and this, 3-box-3 or this 3-2-2-3 has evolved from what he was first doing in 2017. It's evolved. Oh, my bad. Actually, I didn't say this. FIFA goes, to be honest, we all... Michael goes, hello, Blue Heart, mate. I hope all is good with you and yours, mate. Cap, we won't play two strikers every game, but I see it with teams that play with 10 players in the box. Thank you, Cap. It's going to be situational. I think it's going to be with proper scouting on when Pep knows, you know what? We're going to have a quote-unquote numerical disadvantage because of how compact and tight they're going to be defensively. So let's see what we can do and know that we can have our attackers up front. We'll get into it. Julian, Chelsea just signed Lampard. No, they didn't.
Yeah, it's only on an interim basis.
Oh, they are trash.
They are. They're going after Enrique for the summer. All these managers they're doing now are for the summertime. They're not for now.
Look, you know what? I mean, Laporte played for City, so I'm going to respect him, but...
Lampard, I mean. I'll tell you what, if they get Enrique, they will do well. They get Enrique, they'll do well next year.
What's well? You got to define well.
I think they'll be up challenging with the right players. Luis Enrique is the guy I want. He's the guy I want to take over City. Because I'll tell you what, Luis Enrique will play Pep-style football. And statistically, Vader, he had a better start at Barcelona than Pep did. He won more games, lost less games, scored more goals.
I'm glad you didn't bring that up on the CIA because, on the CIA, you'd get shut down. The fact that he had the foundation.
No.
Yeah, he had the foundation that took over from Pep versus...
I'm telling you now, Luis Enrique is quality. He's a quality manager. He's the guy I wanted to take over Pep.
I hear you.
Because he's the closest thing to Pep.
I'm gonna have to see it. I'm gonna have to see it. Michael goes, it's a difficult question, Martin and Vader. Who do we drop when we have our best players available? Vader, it was a brilliant debate with Martin and Richard and Ozzy on the Mancunian Way the other night. I know. I went back and caught that convo, and the debate's not over.
But again, nobody could
over.
answer that. Nobody could answer that.
No, because you need time to go and do the research and get the proper info. But
all it is, mate. Listen, I am a big Alvarez fan. I think he'll be very good. I just think, as fans, we're trying to shoehorn him into the team, and I get why. I fully get why. But again, you just got to let the lad develop. This is my issue with Alvarez. I think some have gone too big too soon on him. To call him Aguero, I think is disrespectful to Aguero.
Yeah.
Massively disrespectful to Aguero. The guy scored, he's our record-leading goal scorer.
But no one.
So even call it. They are. Oh, they are, Vader. No, they are quite a lot.
No, they're not saying he's Aguero. They're saying he's got, and I agree, he's got.
To even say he's close to Aguero is an insult to Aguero.
It's about, he has elements. He has elements of he's Aguero-esque in some of the things that he does. And it was said early on, like, he's not there to be Carlos Tevez. He's not there to be I'll
be straight with you now, Vader. He's there to be backup at the moment.
No, okay. See, you're trying
to. No.
You're trying
Vader,
to.
I'm not.
No, Martin. I'm
not.
Gonna get to it. I'm getting to the comments, and then I'm dealing with you right now. No, I'm dealing with you. Martin.
Statistically, I'm factual.
I'm gonna deal with these comments. One sec. Rose, thank you so very much. Hey, Bader, I appreciate your expert analysis of Manchester City games. Such a special team with the best manager, Mr. Guardiola. Much love from Jamaica. Hey, J.A. in the building. Now.
Good evening, Rose. Hope you're well.
Rose, thank you so much for the comment.
Sorry, I'm just warming up. Vader wants to slow down.
I just had deja vu. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Blue Heart goes, personally, I want to see Alvarez playing closer to Haaland. It helps Erling and disrupts park the bus teams. I think the 2-2 game between the two of them, Blue Heart, is something that's going to be really dangerous, right? Because defenders are going to be worried about either of them, both of them shooting. And the fact that they can play that, hesitate, maybe draw them to maybe second guess and lay off passes, I think would be huge. Cap goes, with two potent strikers in slow, dominant games, you need an extra midfielder, especially against teams with 10 in the box. Yes, I'm not too mad at that. I'm not too mad at that. That's why the three at the back, and we know sometimes essentially we've got two that are defending back there, and everyone's kind of like putting pressure, applying pressure. We're with it. Michael goes, good to have you on, Rose. From J.A., all the best to you and yours from Dublin. Yo, Michael, my guy, greeting the news. And if you're new, Rose, you happen to be new, thank you for the comment. I ask, please, kindly hit that sub button, hit that like button if you can. I hope to see you on the next show. This show was supposed to be an hour 15, and we're at an hour 40, but I'm gonna wrap this up relatively quick, but I've got the other things to get to.
He just wants an argument with me first.
I got to deal with Martin first. So I don't believe it's so much of a shoehorn Alvarez and emphasizing that he's greater than he's proven to be. Okay. But I think there's a lot of excitement. And I think it was Zabaleta, actually. I think it was Zabaleta that said he's not going to be the next Aguero or the next Carlos Tevez just because he's Argentinian, but he has a fantastic future ahead of him. And I think that's where a lot of the excitement is. Now, I will say this. He's not here to be Haaland's backup because his versatility...
No. I said right now.
Yeah. Okay. No, but...
Right now, Vader, he's backup. Whether anyone wants to admit that, like that, or dislike that, factually, he is.
I know, but...
If you go look at the games he started, they're either Carabao Cup games, they're FA Cup games against lower league teams, or they're in games we've qualified.
No, and I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. He's not going to put Haaland on the bench, right?
No.
However, him this year, I concede that point to you because it's year one. He's not playing at a higher level of Haaland.
That's all I'm saying. It's year one. We're together on that. That's all I'm saying.
And we have to put a few other things in context because he, of all our players, has had the longest season. He has come over from River Plate. So I think because of how
rest.
Yeah. Because of how Pep has rightfully managed his time and his energy and the mileage that he's put on those legs, that is a big emphasis to why he has been on the bench and why he is behind Haaland this season. However, next season, I think players like Grealish, like Foden, like Mahrez, and one would also say like a Gundogan. That's why I think Pep
Gundogan won't be there next year.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. But I think anyone along that front line, they need to be looking over their shoulders because Alvarez will be an option for Pep, and a player like Grealish, player like Foden, as well as Mahrez, maybe, and that's why I thought it was fun to look at what may happen with regards to starting 11 with an Alvarez.
I agree with that, mate. And that's and this is why I keep saying I'm not hating on it's year one. All I'm doing is as a fan is being calm on it because Gabriel Jesus came in mid-season and his first 11 games scored 7 goals in his first 11 games. Starts 7 goals. The season after, I think he scored 18 goals in 20 odd starts. Okay. If you actually look at Gabriel Jesus' goal to minutes ratio, it was at times, not overall, at times it was better than Aguero's.
Okay.
Gabriel Jesus, 4 years down the line, had to leave the football club because he couldn't get in the team. Right. All I'm saying is for me, we don't know, we can't predict the future. As long as Haaland is there, Alvarez has a problem with getting into strike. Unless he's willing to go. Because whether you like... this is what Rich said to me the other day. Well, Haaland doesn't play a lot. Well, statistically, he actually does. He started 24 of the 28 games in the Premier League. The other 4 were injuries.
Yeah, but was Rich talking about played minutes in terms of doesn't play a lot?
No. I know. No, what he does with Haaland is very clever. He plays him 65 minutes, takes him off. My question to Rich the other day is, how long is Alvarez going to be happy to play 25 minutes? There is a big difference between coming in and doing 25 minutes when a team is 3/4 dead.
You're answering your own question, though, because he doesn't have to be content with that because I don't believe that's the case next season.
But again, back to my point, mate. You know, and I know we're signing players in the summer.
I know, so it's going to be.
They ain't coming in to sit on a bench.
They aren't, but they're coming in to compete.
If you're dropping 135 million on someone, he ain't coming in to sit on a bench.
No, but he's coming in to compete, and if he doesn't show to be at the level, he's sitting on the bench. So we are, and this is where I'm agreeing with you, and I think we're just saying things differently. I agree that we're going to be buying players in the summer. I agree that we're going to have a talent across the board. Where I'm, I guess, on the other spectrum, I guess, is I think that everyone's going to be competing. I think that we're going to have the same situation where it's going to be a possibility of Sterling, Mahrez, Jesus, Aguero. Exactly.
That's my point, mate. We're sleepwalking back into the same problem. Pep said Pep said these were Pep's quotes. If you go back to last summer when Sterling left, Zinchenko left, Jesus left, Pep said, I don't ever want to be back in that position where I'm having to put top players on a bench and I can't play them. If you remember, he said it to a Spanish media outlet. If you remember the interview, he said, I like a small squad because I don't like having to keep dropping the same players. Do you remember the interview?
I do remember.
I'll try and find it and send it to you.
No,
And then, if you remember, he went with the smallest squad.
it was subtitles, right? He was completely in Spanish.
Yeah. And this is the problem. If we do what we're going to do in the summer, whether it's Bellingham or whether it's McAllister, City are going to buy a midfielder. There's rumours Bernardo Silva may get a contract extension now.
Okay.
This is the problem with sleepwalking in. It's not a problem of.
I'm going to say that.
It's a problem. It then becomes a problem of numbers, and it's something Spencer Pryor said to me a very long time ago on another stream. He said to me, "It's not always games. It's the type of games players want."
Of course. It's the type of game.
Alvarez. How long is Alvarez going to be happy playing Copenhagen, playing Bristol City, when Haaland's getting Real Madrid, getting? Do you understand what I mean? This then becomes the problem.
I understand, but honestly, when we really take a step back and we look at Mancini time, when he had the likes of Tevez, Aguero, Dzeko, and
what happened? There was a mutiny. There was a mutiny.
But that competitiveness and Balotelli, right? But that competitiveness is so key, and it is a challenge for any manager to have to balance things. I think what it raises too is there's going to be an addition of players, and then we may also have to. Well, we'll definitely have to think about what may be the exodus of players, because that's where the balance is going to have to be, and we're going to have to address this again, because another layer that I'm sure Martin has is what happens with regards to the EDS players and their futures, or players on loan.
Exactly. But then you have Perone.
Yeah. Okay, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it at another time.
No, I agree. But do you understand what I mean about the problems?
Yeah.
It's in if we're not. I don't think any team can have this Galactico squad that they're all hoping to have. No team can do that, because you can't keep everyone happy.
I know, I hear that, but at the same time, you do need a player by position. You do need two players by position.
You can't have two top players by position, though. I don't believe in that anymore. Cancelo had played the most minutes and cried. Laporte, would you class Laporte as a top centre-back? A top centre-back?
Yeah.
He's played 8 games all season in the Premier League. 8.
I have so many, not necessarily rebuttals, but I have so many things that we can go down the road on. But I'm gonna.
No, but Sterling, Zinchenko, Jesus.
I hear you, but I gotta put a positive for this one, and we can revisit it.
I love how you put the positive on it. Just one last thing: Sterling played 40 odd games last year, and still demanded to leave.
He also demanded to leave, but when you look at the games that he started in, and to your point, the importance of the games that he was asked to start in, you can see where a player was like, I'm not happy here. So,
can I throw a different spin? And I'm going to leave you on this.
Okay.
Because I know you want to wrap up. And it was something I was thinking about last week.
Okay.
Maybe Alvarez has to bide his time in case Haaland does leave. Maybe Haaland leaves in 2 years.
No.
That's Alvarez's chance.
No, there's no way Alvarez is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to take my occasional cup plays. I'm going to take my player in, like, Haaland injured moments to get my game time. He's not going to wait.
But that's what I know. But is Foden going to do that? City fans will have blue murder if you drop Foden down to the bench.
No, but if
he's homegrown.
But if he's not in form, this is the thing. The level of competitiveness,
I'll tell you now, Foden's treated a bit different than Veta because of his background.
No, I
only know that from in the stadium. Foden is treated a lot different.
I know he's an academy guy. He was like there from age 7 and whatever. I get that. And we will. Those of you in the comments, I see you. This conversation is not over. It's over for this show, but it's not over.
It's a great debate. It is a great debate. Because if we do what we think we're going to do in the summer, the debate will just escalate, because it's where do you put a jigsaw puzzle in?
Yeah, and I'm for it.
I'm glad I'm not Pep, Because if it
I've got the
happens,
answer.
Pep's got problems.
And I've said this, Pep, let's meet up. Pep, let's meet up. A few videos
Yeah.
ago, I said, whoever is on your burner account, whoever sees these videos, hit me up in the DMs. We'll meet up. I've got some great ideas, and we can have. I'm gonna scribble it on a napkin over lunch, over dinner, whatever works for you. I'll pick out your best.
Do you want me to go to his restaurant? I'll go to his restaurant one night. I'll see if he's in there, and I'll say, "Here's a link. Go on it." He wants to know how you're getting 30 superstars into an 11-man team.
I'm gonna talk to him about superstars. I'm gonna give you some ideas with attack and how we can really get through these terrible.
And you made a great point. You still got people all want McAtee back. They all want Doyle back.
Yeah.
It's like it is a bit like FIFA at the moment. We're all playing.
We're gonna get into it for sure. Now, Cap, I see you, and I meant to mention this earlier. We may never play two strikers, but seeing Alvarez play in the mid against Burnley, it told me he is aiming to play them both because he shoehorned him in that game. I mean, you can see how Pep can look at the ability of players. I know you came to me as a striker, but I see the skill sets that you have. You can play this role. So we definitely don't have to get hung up on labels, right? On player labels or how they're kind of described. Because from a skill set standpoint, we know they can do multiple roles, and that's where we're going to.
I think Bernardo Silva will be pivotal.
Yep, that move will be key. Blue Heart goes, let's also remember the Viking came with a big reputation. Alvarez is building his. For me, he is now very close to being a regular first-team starter. It's performances like what just happened against Liverpool is a great problem for Pep to have. Great problem.
He's got a chance now. With Foden out injured, he has now got a chance.
Yep. Blue Heart goes, but Martin is right too. It's his first season. The best is yet to come. Yeah, we got great things to review. And I know Martin's got I know where his thinking is, and I'm gonna throw in a couple of different ideas to consider. Mike goes, great points for Martin and yours. Thank you so much. Brilliant points for Martin and Vader yourself. Vader, mate, please get the message out about Vader's channel, Vader Games TV. All the people on the chat, please share, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Michael, thank you. From your typing to God's ears, or God's eyes, I should say. I'm not in Facebook, I'm not on Reddit, I'm not on those platforms, but if you're able to share this channel, please do that for me. Always appreciative. The numbers have been steady, and the fact that I get the likes and the views on the regular, it's much appreciated. Let me also point out, Cap goes, I think it's interesting. Alvarez signed a new contract because it shows Alvarez believes in his future at City and the project. Yeah, and he's been told on what he can probably expect with regards to how he's going to be played. So it is a great problem. Big Morgan goes, Sterling couldn't get on last night versus Liverpool. He got on real late. It was kind of ugly still, can't lie. Noah, yup. Blue Heart, the only person that has the answer is Pep. And myself, Blue Heart, trust me, if I sit down with Pep, we would have a great conversation. We can guess forever and not even be close. One thing I've noticed is that Pep develops and likes his team. He has a plan. He has an excellent plan. Now, great conversation. I'm going to get on Martin in the group chat because he had me go down a different lane longer than I wanted to, but I'm going to deal with that off camera.
It's not my fault.
I appreciate everyone in the comments. This episode of Why Always Me, episode 77, all the topics were talked about right there on the side. If you happen to be catching this on a replay, I'm going to do my best to have timestamps later this evening for you to happen to watch. And I got some great feedback on it. So I'm going to continue to do that as best as I can. Moving forward, Why Always Me, City Intelligent Agendas, and the occasional Citizens Neighborhood Watch. I'm going to do my best to make sure that those shows are on time. And you can expect, okay, I'm tuning into this. I know time-wise what to expect. I know that you guys have hit me up in the comments directly, and those are what you appreciate. And at the same time, I don't need to get all the content out. You know what I mean? Like, some of these ideas, let's digest, let's break down, let's dissect some things at a time, and then layer on something new for the next show. So if
Can I
you,
just very quickly? I
yeah,
know you want
absolutely.
to. Do you know? I think the best time to do all this about squad and who plays, because
Mhm.
I think for the next 10 games, I think Pep will have his set
go-to.
11.
Yeah.
He'll have his set 11, set formation. I think we'll have a better idea when we know who's out, who's in.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to put just my personal, for me anyway, I'm going to stick a pin in it till the summer because, like I said, Bernardo Silva's pivotal to all this. If Gundo resigns, pivotal. There's talk of a KDB extension. There's too many extensions coming in, or talks of extension, to then add more players in, and then you wonder where you got, and then bring your EDS in at the same time. It's like somebody's going to be unhappy. Somebody's not going to get what they want.
Yeah.
And someone's point, Gabriel Jesus signed contract extensions. He's still left.
Yeah.
Contract extension mean I always remember Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes signed a contract extension for United, and a week later signed for Chelsea.
No, I get that, but sometimes it depends, Mark. Like some of the contract extensions are for, better rates, slight increase in weekly.
And he deserves a bump. He was on what, 30, 40 grand a week. He deserved a bump.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. But we're gonna break down all of that. Blue Heart mentions everything is worth talking about, and I totally agree with you. I also
subscribe to this legend. One of the nicest men you will ever meet. He's genuine. He's honest. He's respectful. If anything, that alone deserves to give you his time. Honestly.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And don't ever subscribe to this channel without subscribing to the others that are in the description. The Mancunian Way is a great channel as well. The content was great. Just the other night, they talked about the agendas that happen within the media and how they're huge journalist. Go back and check out that show. Make sure you hit that like. And then Pitch Points, Mancunian Way, True City Fan, and you got Klilnical in there as well. So please spread the love, and thanks for.
And it may have some former players coming on at some point as well.
Martin's got some gold. He's got some gold content coming through. So make sure you don't miss any of it. Cap, thank you so much. Top stream, good night. And Dre in the building. Let me shout you out before I go. Pep is a genius. Yes, he has resources, etc. But which top manager doesn't? When he leaves the EPL, then he will get all the respect. Only Alex Ferguson can be compared to Pep. You're 100%. Like many City players, they won't like Pep. He won't get the appreciation until he's gone from the others. He gets it from us, but he's going to get it from others once he's gone. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show today. If you're watching it on a replay, thank you so very much. And I'm going to catch you guys next show on Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time. CIA Intelligent Agendas. Make sure you don't miss it. We'll have a lot to talk about on Vader Games. That was Martin Mancunian Way, and we're out.